Hi everyone, this is LEAPMOTOR Lafa 5. LEAPMOTOR might not be such a new brand for most of you because they do sell their cars in Europe and actually in many other parts of the world, and this Golf-sized pure electric car is their new car, Lafa 5. Well, today I will tell you everything you need to know about it. My name is Amin and welcome to Car Shifu.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Easy come, easy go. Hold up, wait a minute. Feel the shot, body rock.
Lafa 5 came out in October 2025, so not that long ago. And when I saw this car for the first time on the screen, on pictures, well, it looked a little too ordinary, nothing really special about it. But then I saw this car on a motor show in Guangzhou, and to be honest, this car is actually quite a handsome car, especially with its bright colors and all of these black parts, the wheels and the front headlights. This car is a good-looking hatchback. Let's talk about the choice. Well, range first. Here you have two choices. First one is 515 kilometers range, and the second one is 605, with the battery choice of 56 kilowatts and 67. Then let's talk about the powertrain, because all of the versions, they are single motor. And the thing is, the motor is at the back. We will talk a little more about this in a minute, because now I will tell you some numbers. The entry-level plus version with 515 kilometers range has 180 horsepower and 175 newton meters of torque, which means it can do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 8.7 seconds. And all of the other versions, well, they are a little more powerful with 218 horsepower and 240 newton meters of torque, which means, depending on the battery size, it can do 0 to 100 kilometers an hour in 6.4 and 6.5 seconds, respectively. Coming back to its single motor, which is at the back, which means this car is a rear-wheel drive car, because most of the cars in this segment or this price range, they are front-wheel drive cars. And this is kind of a big thing, because if your motor is at the back, it means you have to give it independent suspension at the back, which it has. This car has a multi-link at the back and McPherson in the front, which is a big deal for its handling and its comfort. And we will come back to it when we drive this car. Before we talk about its trunk, let's talk about the price. And the prices for its entry-level plus model with 515 kilometers range start from 97,000 yuan here in China, which means around 12,000 euros, all the way to its top trim with 605 kilometers range max, which here in China costs 121,000 yuan, which means around 15,000 euros. So price-wise, at least here in China, this is a very, very interesting choice. All right, the boot. Being a hatchback, this boot is not huge, but to be honest, it's big enough. You could put two big suitcases here, or it's enough for your weekly shopping and so on. You can put a baby stroller here with no problem. Well, it's good enough for a small family. No problems here. Now, let's take a look what it offers inside. Well, inside this car is actually quite handsome. I do like the design, I do like the quality of the cabin, because most of the parts, upper parts of this interior you touch, it's actually quite nice in your hands, feels quite well built, and the materials are actually, I wouldn't say premium, but they're much better than what we used to get in this price range before. So the interior actually is a very nice place to sit, but here it has some problems, especially for people who would like to sit very low or very sporty. Why? Because these seats are really nice. They're soft enough and they're supportive enough, which is a very, very good thing. Also, the adjustment range of these seats is really good. You could sit low enough, but the problem is in this really, really nice steering wheel, which is a beauty to hold in your hands. The quality, the leather they use, the design they did, really, really good. But the thing is, the adjustment is just not enough. If I sit as I like really low, the steering wheel is too high, which makes me sit a bit higher, which I don't really like. So if you are a person that likes to sit low, well, go check this car, try it if it is suitable for your sitting position. But if you like to sit a bit higher, then you will have no problems here. Let's talk a little about what it offers here. Well, with the entry-level Plus model here in China, actually you do not get much stuff. Now let's talk about what do you get for your money with this entry Plus trim. Well, to be honest, you do not get that much stuff. Considering if you add around 1,000 euros and go for Pro, or add a little more and go for Max versions. Because with those you get a lot of stuff. Well, let me tell you what do you get here. Well, here you do get a steering wheel, you do get voice control, which is really good. You do get really nice screen here with quite responsive UI, and you can adjust everything you need. You can tell it everything you need to adjust or to use, and it will do. Of course, here in China it's in Chinese, and in Europe it will be in English. It has a very nice screen here which shows you all of the information you need to know about the driving, your speed, your range, and all of this stuff. Now let me tell you, what will you get if you go for the next trim, the Pro trim, over this Plus, the entry-level Plus trim? Well, the first one, you do get front and rear head airbags, which is very important. Second, you do get a sunroof, which this car doesn't have. Then you do get heated steering wheel and heated and cooled seats. Also, you do get 12 speakers instead of 6 speakers. And at the back, you do get additional air vents. Okay, now let's take a look how it feels at the back. At the back, Lafa 5 is actually quite roomy. My height is 1.75 meters. This seat is adjusted to my sitting position, and it's low and way back. So if I sit behind myself, I have enough room for my shoulders and for my knees. The seats are soft and supportive, but the only thing is this backrest is a little straight. It would be better if I could adjust it a little backwards, so the angle would be a little more comfy. But overall, it's not a bad place to sit. If we talk about things that you could use here, well, you do not get anything actually. Yes, you do get 2 isofixes, which means you can put 2 baby seats here, which is also very good. But in terms of things you could use at the back, well, there isn't any. Now, let's go and drive this car and take a look how it feels on the road.
Lafa 5, how does it feel on the road? Actually, not bad. Well, let's go step by step. Let me tell you first on how much power it has, or how it behaves with the power it has, because the car that we're driving today, the Plus version, it's the slowest one. It has 180 horsepower and 175 newton meters of torque, but the thing is, the weight of this car is not that much, it's not that big, so it doesn't have to pull a lot of weight, so feels actually quite nippy. In the city, at least, it is fast enough. Yes, maybe on the highway, it won't give you really fast acceleration, and it doesn't need to. Now, if you go for Pro or Max versions, they have 218 horsepower, which will behave much better, especially if you're on the highway. But in the city, to be honest, this version with 180 horsepower is plenty enough. But the thing is, how they made the setup of this acceleration, it feels a little like Japanese cars from, let's say, 10 or 15 or 20 years ago, in which way the first part, maybe first 1 or 2 centimeters of the accelerator, it's really responsive. To be honest, a little too much. So even if you don't press a lot, it gives you a feeling of, oh, ho, ho, yeah, not bad. But if you press more, well, yes, then you will feel and you will know, yes, okay, there isn't much power in it. But again, in the city, 0 to 60, 0 to 80, 60 to 80, 60 to 100, it's fast enough, it's snippy enough. So I would say it's everything you need from a city car. I would say it this way, acceleration wise or power wise, it's plenty. let me tell you a little about the brakes and how do they feel. Well, to be honest, with the brakes, I have a few questions. If we talk about the performance, actually not bad, really not bad. It stops really well. But the pedal is a little, I wouldn't say it's soft or it's heavy on your foot, but it's a little like it gives you a very slim feel of a sponge, especially with recuperation, that after you release the brake, recuperation comes in and starts helping you to regenerate some power. It gives you a little strange feel. But again, if you get used to it, you drive it for some time. Well, actually, I'm driving it for a day now, and now I do not notice it that much as I did when I pressed it for the first, the second, or the third time. Now it feels a little more natural for me. So again, maybe it's because I jumped from another car into this car and started using the brakes, and they do feel a little spongy comparing to that car. But after some time, it is actually natural enough. So if you go and try this car, pay attention to the brakes and see how it feels for you. Now let's talk a little about the steering, which I really do like. So first of all, you can change how heavy it is in your hands, and I chose the sport mode. Why? Because it is heavy enough but not too heavy, and it has a little feel in your hands. If I choose the normal or the comfort modes, it's a little too light for my liking. So how it feels in your hands, how heavy it is. Now in sport mode, really good. And actually the feel of the steering and how they are connected to the front wheels, also they did a really good job with it. Why? Because first of all, it's really responsive. This car changes lane really naturally, and you do have a lot of feel. It gives you a lot of information about what the front wheels are doing, what angle they're turned, what kind of pavement you're driving on, or what kind of surface you're driving on. So you do get a lot of feel in your hands, but it also filters all of unnecessary information. For example, bumps on the road and so on. You do not feel them. It all just vanishes in the suspension. So, and also because this car is a rear wheel drive car, so you do not have this influence of power on your steering. So your front wheels only do steering work. That's it, nothing else. And if we add really well set up suspension, this car, I would say it's a very well set up European flavor car. Let's say a Volkswagen Golf, or a car, I would say it drives like a very well sorted European car, which is actually quite a high praise for Leapmotor Lafa 5. Because nowadays, most of Chinese cars, well, small cars, they try to set it up quite soft, make it feel like a big car, big, comfy, heavy car, which small cars don't need. A small car has to be nippy, it has to change direction really well, it has to be really good in the corners. That's all you need. It has to be nice to drive. If you want a big car feel, well, get a big car. And that's where Leapmotor does actually really good. It doesn't feel like a big car. It feels like a car of its size, which is great. There isn't much roll in the corners. It doesn't feel heavy. It also deals with all of the bumps, small or big, really well. And it doesn't pass all of this vibration to your seat or to you. So this car is a very well sorted car. It drives really well. I wouldn't say it's sporty. No, it's not, and it doesn't need to be. But it's nice to drive. It's responsive. It's clear. It's natural, and I would say it's a very high praise. And it's quick enough. It handles really well. It goes over the bumps really well. Yes, maybe there is a little too much noise from the tires, but overall, nah, it's okay for a city car. The steering is also very clear, and the nose follows your steering really well too. So if you're looking for a pure electric car that is also really nice to drive in a city, handles well, and feels familiar, in Europe at least, well, you will like Lafa 5. It's a nice car. Lafa 5 also has assisted driving, level 2 assisted driving, but in Plus and Pro versions, they are relatively simple. It's adaptive cruise control and it keeps you in the lane. But if you go for the Max version, well, there you have a LiDAR, there it can assist you in the highway and in the city. It changes direction, it changes the lanes, it turns and it goes in the city by itself, or it assists you to do this. So, unfortunately, today we're driving the Plus version, so I cannot tell you how good or how well it works. In the future, if we do get a chance to drive the Max version, then if you guys would like to know, we also could make maybe a short video about how it feels, how it behaves on the road with its assisted driving on.
Well, today in Shanghai, actually the weather is not bad, but it's quite cold and quite windy. All right, we drove this car. I told you about what you get for the money that you could pay. Well, I don't know how much you will pay in Europe, but I can tell you this. If you're looking for a pure electric, small, well, okay, Golf sized car, this is a very interesting choice. And the main thing is, first of all, it looks really nice. Second, I do believe the price, even in Europe or the other parts of the world where you are, if you do get this car, will not be very high. But for you, what you pay and what you get, this is a very, very good choice, especially if we consider how it drives. And it does drive really, really well. Well, it's not sporty, but it's a really nice drive in the city. For a small family or a young person, a very nice car to go around. So, Leapmotor Lafa 5. I do suggest you to go take a look. And if you, just like me, also like it, how it drives, could be a very good choice for you. Well, my name is Amin. Well, guys, see you in the next one. And remember, welcome to Car Shuffle. Bye bye.